Hi, welcome back to another Smeester's Corner. I'm Adam Smeester. So last time we talked about how to be more attractive. It was geared mostly towards young men, and that was more of the macro point of view. We're going to get into a little bit more of the micro today. This is how to be more attractive part 2, but we're going to focus solely on confidence because that's what a lot of people struggle with, and this is what I used to struggle with too. So I'm going to talk about 7 things that you can do to have more confidence. And you don't have to do all 7, maybe just pick a couple of these things that you're not great in or a little bit weaker in to try to work on. These are all things that I've had to try to work on myself. So those 7 things are grooming, body language, having a plan, the social part of it, inner thoughts, how to control yourself, and then testosterone levels. So we're going to talk about those 7 things. I'm going to try to make it quick. Okay, so grooming. I talked a little bit about this last time, but I'm going to get a little bit more in depth to it, and this is going to be more of a coaching part, this first part, rather than an advice thing. So you have to be someone that your significant other can be proud of, that they want to take you places and show you off. Just like if you had a wife or a girlfriend and you were going to a party and she looks really nice and you're proud to show her off, women feel the same way. So when it comes to dress, you're going to have to invest in some nice clothes. And that means if you're a single guy, you're going to have to go shopping for yourself. And that's okay. And I know that that's terrifying for a lot of guys and they don't know where to start, but that's okay. I'm going to give you some pointers here. Okay, jeans. You need a nice pair of jeans. And ones that just don't bunch up at the very bottom that are super baggy. You need a nice pair of fitting jeans that are darker so you can they look good when you go to nice places. Okay, so that's the first. Jeans. You don't want to wear torn jeans when you're going on dates, especially first and second dates. One reason I say this is because sometimes when I go to nice restaurants, I see guys, and I mentioned this last time, who are, the girl is really dressed up, they're nice at a nice restaurant, and he's wearing joggers. Like, that's not going to be sufficient for someone to be attracted enough to you to want to show you off. You have to dress the part. Okay, shoes. You need to invest in some nice dress shoes or dress boots. One of the two, but you cannot be wearing sneakers around all the time. It just doesn't look good when you're at a nice restaurant and you have a nice pair of jeans on and you're wearing running shoes. You need a nice pair of shoes. You also need nice shirts that fit. They cannot be super baggy. You can get fitted clothes a lot of different places, or you can go to a tailor. Myself, I try to get fitted clothes, but a lot of times they don't fit me because I have kind of a weird structure to me. I have broad shoulders, really long arms, so I have to get shirts that are pretty big, but then they don't fit in here, so then I have to go get them tailored. And tailoring's not bad. It's like $15-20 to tailor a shirt to get it to fit you well, and it looks a lot nicer. Also, if you're of college age or older, you need to either have a suit or a nice sport jacket, okay? Because you're going to start going to functions like funerals or weddings or holiday parties where you're +1 at. So my wife is a PA at a medical clinic, physician's assistant, and when we go to the holiday party every year, the Christmas party, there's people from doctors to medical assistants. The doctors are obviously very well dressed. They have nice clothes on. And then a lot of the medical assistants are younger women who bring their +1, and it's a guy wearing tennis shoes, jeans, and a polo shirt. And everybody else is wearing nice clothes, suits or a sport coat. You need to invest in one of those. And I understand if you don't make a lot of money, that might be kind of difficult, but like, for example, you can go to Macy's like before Christmas and buy a really nice sport jacket for like half off. Next is you need a nice haircut. A haircut is everything. You need a nice haircut to make you look nice and presentable and like you are a person who is well groomed and takes pride in how you look. Okay, that is attractive. It's going to make you feel better too. The better you look, the better you're going to feel, and you're going to have more confidence. That's why I'm talking about this. If you don't know what kinds of haircuts look good, just observe. And that's the problem with a lot of guys. They don't know what to do because they're not observant, and if you see a person, another guy that's well dressed, observe what colors he's wearing and what kind of clothes he's wearing and like what makes it look nice. And if a guy's got a nice haircut and you're like, oh, that guy looks like a good looking dude, pay attention to what kind of haircut. You can Google haircuts. Go to a barber instead of a sports clips. Go to a barber and see like what they think would look good on you. All right. So that was a little bit of the coaching. That was on grooming. All right. So now we're going to get into body language. So 3 things for body language: posture, eye contact, and smile. Okay. Posture, you need to sit up, shoulders back. Okay. It makes you look, even if you don't feel like you have a lot of confidence, it's going to make you look more confident, which is attractive. Eye contact. You got to make eye contact with people when you're talking to them. It's a little bit weird at first. I can remember when I consciously had to start doing this because when I was in high school, I looked around at like the type of guy that was really popular at the school, not because he was an athlete or anything, but because he was a generally good guy that everybody liked in high school. And I started wondering what made he wasn't necessarily like good at one specific thing. He was just friends with every different friend group. And I started wondering like what makes him so likable. So I started observing, and I noticed that one thing he would do would be to smile at people. He would make physical contact and touch them on the shoulder when he was talking to them. He listened and he made eye contact. So then I started doing that. It was a conscious thing because that wasn't natural to me. Okay, so that was body language. That was number 2. Number 3 is you need to have a plan. I mentioned this in the last time. It's going to give you more confidence. If you're just sitting around doing nothing with your life, you're not going to have a lot of confidence because what do you have to show for yourself? Not a lot. So you need to, if you aren't where you want to be, at least make steps towards where you want to be. You at least need to be making progress. And that's going to release serotonin, that's going to release dopamine, and that's going to make you feel better about yourself. It's going to give you self-esteem, the fact that you're taking steps to make you a better person. And one thing to mention too, if you're going to try to start changing yourself for the better, and like you are going to start like grooming yourself better, and you are going to start having a plan, and you have friends and you're like, well, they're going to make fun of me if I like really alter myself and how I present myself and stuff. If you're trying to better yourself and you have friends that are trying to bring you back down because they like the old you and they're holding you back from like being a better you, just keep that in mind. I know what it's like to be a guy and like give each other crap about stuff, but at the same time, it's also like a different story if they're actually trying to hold you back. Okay, number 4 is being better socially. So you have to learn how to talk to people. And if you're a quiet person who's kind of shy, you have to practice. You have to practice talking to people. And one thing that you can do is when you're at a store or a coffee shop or something, just practice. You don't have to have an in-depth conversation, but just practice striking up a conversation with somebody. A really good thing that you can do is after you ask a question, listen. You don't have to, a lot of people stress out because they feel like they have to be the ones talking all the time and they don't know what to talk about. You can be a good active listener like I talked about earlier, and it's going to make people feel comfortable enough to talk to you. One thing, I just mentioned this to my wife last night that I kind of feel bad for people for is if you're a talker, you have to learn how to be an active listener. And one of the things that I feel bad for people for, especially if they're a talker, is I notice when I see people engaged in conversations, the talkers, they're not really listening. They're focused on what they're going to say next, and they miss stuff. They miss a lot because sometimes there's people wanting to open up, and the talkers just miss it because they're so busy thinking about what they're going to say next and the point that they want to make. They just missed what the other person was trying to say, and the other person was actually trying to open up and wanted to say something and get a little deep, and the talkers just missed it. All right, so being better socially is number 4, like just practice talking to people. And if you're good with that, then hey, you don't have anything to worry about. Number 5, this is a big one. Negative thoughts, negative self-talk, those little voices in your head that tell you can't do it. The person that's going to hold you back the most from what you want is yourself. Those little voices can wreak havoc on you that tell you that who they think you are and how you're not enough and what if, the what if monster. And I have to work on this too. Like, this is something that I constantly try to practice. is trying to quiet those voices, because I have a big what if monster in my head a lot of times that holds me back. And it'll just be benign things about like one of my friends maybe was a little quiet when I was trying to talk to him, and kind of seemed to blow me off. And I was thinking, like, what's up with that? Maybe, like, are they mad at me? Was it the thing that I said last week that maybe? And then you start going down this what if. One thing that can help that I've tried to start doing with myself is ask yourself, the outcome that you're stressing out over on a scale of 1 to 10, how probable do you think that outcome is? Like, how probable do I think that it is that I just said something last week that my friend still has a problem with, that he's holding against me, that he's not talking to me for? Probably pretty low. It probably has to do with them, and it doesn't even have to do with me. All right, so that was number 5, the negative self-talk, the negative thoughts, like not letting those control you, and trying to overcome those to become someone in life. Okay, number 6 on how to have more confidence is being in control of your emotions. The last one was your thoughts. This one is your emotions, like being in control of yourself, having control of your emotions and having control of your nervous system, which sometimes if there's like trauma involved and stuff, like you might need some help with that. But just generally speaking, being in control of yourself. So when emotions come up, you don't want to become the emotion. You want to be someone that has emotions, but you don't want to become the emotion. So if the anger comes up, you don't want to become the anger and gets out of control with the anger, because that's you be like hulking out, becoming the emotion. You want to be someone that has emotions and can deal with the emotions, but you don't want to become the emotion. On the opposite end of that is you also don't want to be the person that just buries all your emotions, because that's not good. Those emotions are going to come out eventually, and they're probably going to come out on people that you didn't expect, in times that you didn't expect. So you can't bury them either. So what you have to try to do, and I'm working on this too, is when the emotion comes up, first of all, you have to identify the emotion. Like, is it sadness, anger, joy, or fear? Okay. And so like sometimes I'm feeling bad and I don't know why. And a lot of guys, you ask them like, what's wrong? And they'll say, I don't know. Or what are you feeling? And they'll say, I don't know. They just know that they're not feeling good. And so if you take a second, think about it and say, all right, out of those major emotions, which one am I feeling? Fear is one that I don't let myself feel very often. And so there have been a couple times where I've identified and gone, all right, I think I'm feeling fear right now, which is weird because it's not an emotion I let myself feel. So what you have to do is let yourself feel it and then try to figure out where the fear is coming from, and then address that. That's how you address the emotion. What emotion am I feeling and why am I feeling it? And then you can address that emotion instead of burying it or becoming the emotion. Okay, that's going to give you confidence because you're in control. And the last thing to talk about, point number 7, that's going to give you confidence, you got to think about your testosterone levels. So maybe you're kind of neurotic and you're being very emotional and you can't control yourself because your testosterone levels are really low. So some things that you can do about that: sleep, diet, and exercise. So those are the 3 biggest natural things that you can do to help stabilize your T levels. If you're not getting sleep, if you're on your phone or playing games late into the night and you're waking up late, you're going to tank your T levels. If you are eating junk food, it's going to tank your T levels, man. And if you're not exercising, if you're just sitting around all day and you're not doing anything, if you're not being productive, if you're not working towards anything, it's going to tank your T levels. Getting out there and doing something, even if it's not exercise, but doing something, going to work and getting something done, exercising, like having a goal and meeting that goal, it's going to bring your T levels up. And that will contribute to having higher confidence. So to recap, grooming. The better you're groomed, the better you're going to feel about yourself, better self-esteem, higher confidence. Body language, okay? Just look like you have confidence, even if you don't, and that'll start to rub off on you. Have a plan. So having a plan is going to give you confidence because you're going somewhere. It's going to make you feel better about yourself. Socially, learning how to talk to people. Obviously, that's going to give you confidence, obviously. Negative self-talk. Obviously, if you're running yourself down all the time, you're not going to have a lot of confidence. Controlling yourself, controlling your emotions, so you don't become the emotion and not having to bury them all the time. Okay, being able to deal with your emotions. It's going to give you confidence because you're in control. And the last one, T levels. Okay. If you're an older guy, you might want to get those checked. I would really actually advise that you do. All right. So that's all I have to say as far as confident goes. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.